The death toll in Syria and Turkey continue to climb.
Officials now say yesterday's earthquake killed more than 7,700 people. Rescuers continue to find survivors and are racing to pull more from the rubble before they succumb to the freezing temperatures. Search teams from nearly 30 countries are helping as they try to also reach isolated areas.
Local Turkish and Syrian-Americans are watching the heartbreaking images coming out of their home countries after the earthquake. As Sabrina Wilson reports, some have heard from relatives and others have not.
The race to find other survivors isn't waning after an earthquake hit Turkey and Syria. Thousands are already known to be dead.
It is cold, it is snowing, and the aid cannot get there fast enough, unfortunately, because of the weather condition.
Salih Gurbus lives here. Members of his immediate family were impacted by the earthquake.
My mother actually happened to be in one of the cities when the earthquake happened, visiting my sister. And they were fortunate enough to, get out of the building before the building was collapsed.
But the story about his family doesn't end here.
Unfortunately, and one of our cousins is still under the rubble in a city called Adıyaman. So there is still no news from her. And with this, being so close to this, and it is pretty devastating for us, and it is devastating for everybody.
I asked Louisiana Senior Senator Bill Cassidy about the catastrophe.
We should support Turkey as much as possible. It is the right thing to do. It is a humanitarian thing to do. It also helps that Turkey is a NATO ally.
Imagining that it's not just yourself, but it's like your children, your parents that are being crushed, and the bystanders, people are watching, and there's nothing they can do. And if that doesn't touch everybody's heart as a human.
Jenny Yanez is area manager in Louisiana for the Islamic Circle of North America relief effort.
And we work with refugees and Syrian refugees, particularly in this area, in Mederi and Kenner. And they were here because there was a humanitarian crisis in Syria, which is still ongoing. As they deal with this humanitarian crisis and the sanctions imposed on them, they have 1 hour of electricity a day. Their hospitals were overfilled before this happened. And currently it's very, very cold.
She says sanctions should not stand in the way of international help for Syria.
I know that many countries in the world have said that they want to help Turkey, but they don't want to help Syria. What is the difference between those borders and the lives of those babies?
A young woman who was too distraught to go on camera told me she only arrived in New Orleans 7 months ago from Turkey, and she says she hasn't heard from some friends and relatives back in her homeland.
There's a lot of Turkish Americans that live in our state and in our country that make such incredible contributions. It's freezing over there, and there may be another 15,000 trapped between rubble. We can remember when Hurricane Katrina and other hurricanes hit our state, and the international outpouring of support.
And U.S. Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana issued a statement to Fox 8 saying, "Our hearts go out to everyone suffering in Syria and Turkey because of this tragic quake. Louisianans know how long and hard recovering from natural disasters is, and we're praying for these innocent earthquake victims." Gurbus says around 10 years ago, his hometown in Turkey suffered a devastating earthquake, so he returned home to help. And he says this recent earthquake reminds him of that, while a local Syrian American tells me he was thrilled to reach his sister by phone.